All right. Good afternoon, or morning, or night, anyone who's listening. This is day 2 of the 10-day Algebra 1 EOC review. Let's check out this homework. We'll be doing some of them, but not all of them. Today we're going to be looking at domain and range, right? Domain and range in graphs, tables, equations, situations, and multiple different views because you never know what STAR test is going to throw at you. By the way, I like to encourage you that before you do this, all right, before you look at this video, it might be a good idea to try these problems first, right? Before you watch this video and I give you all the answers. Maybe some of these you already know how to do, maybe you don't, right? Any ones that you do not know how to do, then of course use the video, right? And maybe you'll have the answer. Don't forget, I'm not giving you all the answers, just some of them. Domain. Don't forget the domain really represents the following. It represents, for those who forget, X, Y, and let's see if you know the rest. It goes like this. Doctor ID x-intercept 0, 0, y-intercept. Then it's run and rise. Right. The only part we're really concerned about, though, is right here. Right? Those two. Those stand for the following. This one right here is domain. And what does domain stand for? Domain is the x's. This other guy represents the range. And range, as a constant reminder, stands for y. So we've got domain is x and range is y. So as you look at this, you want to see what is your values here. For this item right here, which is this, that's not that dark, so let me get something better. Let's use, gotcha, purple. There you go. Okay, so this whole curve right here has x values. In fact, if you look at it, it has x values everywhere from -5 all the way to +5, apparently, right? From -5 to +5. Now, there's a difference, though, because this has a closed point, and this other one is open, right? Don't forget the difference, that a closed point looks like this, and an open point looks like this. And there's a difference, right? So domain, once again, stands for x. The x values are everything from -5 to +5, right? But the one that gets the bar is this guy, because this is a closed point. Closed points use this symbol, and opens use this. So from -5 with no bar underneath, right? No bar underneath right here. No bar underneath, right? To +5. And there is your answer. That is your domain, right? The range. Well, range stands for the other guy. Range is your y values. So you want to look at only your y-axis. What's the lowest it goes and what's the highest it goes? Well, the lowest is this point right here, which is at -3. And it goes all the way up to, well, it looks like it goes up to 3, right? But no, it actually goes more. The highest value on this purple curve is actually right here. So it all the way goes up to the highest value it actually could be achieved is 4. There's nothing for 5, just for 4. So it's from -3 all the way to +4. This is solid. That's also solid. So we're only going to deal with these symbols. So it's -3, so on, and then 4. Very good. Okay. That's number 1. Pretty easy, right? You've been doing these for a while. Only hard part is because you don't get multiple choice. That's the only hard part of it. Number 2. Oh, this is too easy. All right, well, we said earlier, domain and range. Domain stands for x, range stands for y's. Another word for f of x, by the way, is y. Your x's is quite obvious. What are your x's? Use braces. -1, 3, 7, and 11. Those are all your x values. This is incorrect. If you wrote, this is incorrect. This is no good. And the reason why it's no good, right, is because it's not everything in between here, right? It's only -1, +3, 7, and 11. And only those 4 numbers. It's not everything between. It's not 8. It's not 9. They didn't say that. They just said, what is my x's? My x's are -1, +3, 7, and 11. That's it. You find the range, right? You find the range. I think you could do it. That's too easy. Once again, way too easy. I'll just give you a clue. That's an X, that's a Y, that's an X, that's a Y, that's an X, that's a Y, that's an X, that's a Y. What's your domain? Use your braces, comma, comma, comma. I think there's 4 of them. Yeah, there's 4 X's, and there's 4 ranges. All right, this is just way too easy. I'll give you the very first X, the first domain, -4. Heck, I'll even give you the second one. You could do the rest. That's just too easy. Moving on. This one looks a little tricky, but it really isn't. You know, domain, once again, is a set of values. It's 3 values this time. Domain stands for, once again, X. Don't forget your doctor ID. So what are your X values? Those are your X values. -6, 8, 13. Those are your X values. And your range, well, I'll let you figure that out. Too easy. Suppose x has values of -2, +4, and 7 in the function -x² plus 2. Now this is a little tricky because you most likely do not have your calculator on you. But please note, it already tells you, these are your x values. So these goes here. Real easy. Now to find your f of x might be a little trickier. You're going to plug each one of these x values into that x right there. Right? So I'm going to have, let me see here. I'm just going to put some notes right here. To find this one, what you're going to do is, let me get my magic one. Oops. Magic pen. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to write that equation negative, but with parentheses, squared plus 2. And inside those parentheses goes -2. All right, maybe it wasn't the best idea because now everything's disappearing. Uh-oh. Oh, it's all going away. All right, so, and he went away too. Great. Well, what goes in here? A -2, right? You're replacing the x with a -2. So it should say negative, right? -2. Make sure it says -2. And then, you know, parentheses squared plus 2. All right. And then you'll get your whatever value. This is what you want. You need that one. That way you could put it in there. And then same thing again. Right? Put this number right here. And then same thing again. You want to figure out what these 3 things are equal to, right? It's a little unfortunate that you have your negatives right there, but you don't have your calculator. But I think you could figure this out. I mean, you're smart kids. What's -2 squared? Same thing as saying -2 times -2. -2 times, oops, that does not go there. Hang on, guys. Beg your pardon. Gotta focus. All right, we're looking at this one right here. Just that one. Just that one. Okay. -2 squared is +4. But since there's a negative right here, you're going to make that now negative. Then it says this plus 2, right? So we say this plus 2, right? Which is, got it. It's -2. So very first one, I'm giving it to you, it's -2. You can figure out this one and that one. And then put your answers in your choices. Your domain is -2, 4, 7. There you go. Your range is -2, well, you still got to figure out those other 2. They're right there. You got to figure them out. I'll let you work in. All right. But that's your domain and that's your range in so many different aspects, from equation to tables, from a mapping, ordered pairs, table, and what was the first one? And a graph. So mappings, domain and range can be done in so many different ways for your STAR test. All right, hope this was helpful, guys. Get that done.